Hey guys, and welcome to my decompression session. You don't need any equipment today, and let's get started with a nice little spine series. This is perfect after a long day of work or if you just need a little self-care. Okay, so we're just gonna start on the ground with our legs in a comfortable position, and we're gonna rotate one direction and take a deep breath in and out with just a nice light spine twist. And then we're gonna go to the other side. This should just feel like a great stretch. Getting our breath control down, deep inhale and exhale, just kind of letting go of the day or anything that's bothering you, even if it's morning time or whatever, just a little time to check in while we take care of our spine. So just some deep inhales and exhales here in a light rotation. As always, everything should be pain-free today, but we are gonna do some movements that may challenge you. So challenge is good. Pain, we don't push through. We solve the problems that's causing the pain. That's my tactic. So, all right, next we are going to do, that was trunk rotation. We're going to do some spine flexion extension or seated cat and cow. You can do regular cat and cow if you'd like. I will also show this kneeling. So my hands are just on my ankle and I'm breathing into the movement, exhaling and inhaling and trying to get the most from my vertebrae. There's 24 in your spine. So let's just try to touch as many as we can. Here's what it looks like kneeling. Just kind of sliding the hands up and down with that spine movement and with the breath. It's kind of nice. Just a big powerful exhale, just kind of like letting go of things. Again, that's the whole intention of our session today. Touch base with our bodies, become more aware, and just to feel better. Of course, we'll get a great workout in too. So thanks so much for joining me. Awesome job. Okay, we're going to move on. A little shoulder mobility. You can do this kneeling. I'll also show it standing. But your arms are at a 90-degree angle, and try to avoid doing this at the wrist, but you're just rotating the palm down. You could also do this up against a wall. Just keep the shoulders down, away from the ears, and keep the elbows at 90 degrees. Avoid flexing the wrists. I'm going to show you this from all angles. So I'm just going to keep this like little spin going so you guys can kind of see what it looks like from all angles. Your mobility might not be as great, or it might be better than this. Who knows? But just kind of see where your shoulder joint is at today. If it's a little sticky, let's just work through that. We shouldn't have any pain here. And some days your mobility will look great, and some days it'll look not so great. Typically Mondays is a recovery day for me. I'm really stiff from the weekend, so I can kind of feel how stuck my shoulders get on some sides. So I'm doing this before my recovery swim of the week. So yeah, it's kind of all relative, if that makes sense. You just check in with yourself each day. Okay, ground yourself if needed. We're going to do a front raise, a side raise, and then a reverse raise. So essentially what we're doing here is hip flexion, hip, abduction, I always get them confused, which just means away from the midline, and then hip extension. We're doing 12 reps total, or 4 rounds on each side, and I am holding on to my treadmill. You can hold on to a wall. The main thing is that you're not dropping your chest forward or backwards or even leaning to the side. That just allows your hip to get out of the work. So just keep that torso up, and holding on to something often can help with that. So that's why I'm doing that. You'll see that my shoulders just stay stacked really well. And I'm just kind of checking in on my hip joint now. Your shoulders, I don't want to kick my coffee. That's a really important of my day and my mobility sessions. Of course, if you're doing this at night, coffee might not be a good option for you, maybe tea, but your shoulders and your hips, as I was saying, are ball and socket joints. So checking in with them frequently is important because so many key movements happen through those two joints. Really nice. Looking good, you guys. All right, we're going to work on the ankle next. And I should have told you all this beforehand, so I'm just not editing it out. I'm going to grab a little step. I was going to use my treadmill, but then I realized y'all couldn't see the side from that. So I'm just going to use this little garbage can. If you want to grab a step or hit pause or go to like a staircase, or just grab a little box or chair that can support you. I just wanted to show you this from the side. We're going to do a dorsiflexion stretch or an ankle flexion stretch. All that means is that I'm trying to get my ankle to bend as much as I can. So you should be able to see that. I am holding on to something. I'm focusing all my weight, driving through that heel, pressing in towards the ground, stretching out that calf muscle, working that hinge joint. Okay, we're going to go to the other side. I'm just going to drive that heel towards the ground I definitely have more flexibility on one side than another. So little movements like this can just kind of help check in. Oftentimes we have more problems on one side versus another, and the best thing you can do isn't hide from that knowledge, but just figure out what's going on and work out of those imbalances. Give the problem side a little bit more love. And check in with yourself frequently. That's the best thing you can do. 10 to 15 minutes is all you need, really. Okay, we're going to do a little deep squat drill. So you have some rust or some fatigue in your hips and knees. I want you to keep a little target out, or even just use a regular chair or couch. I'm just going to do a deep squat to it. You can put your hands on your hips in prayer position or overhead or on the knees. Just try to keep your joints relatively stacked so you're not putting a ton of pressure in like your lower back or your mid back. We kind of want to strengthen and touch base with our knee and hip joints primarily here while maintaining somewhat good posture. Ideally, you keep the heels on the ground. If your heels lift off, it could mean that you have some tight calves, which is why I stretch them out beforehand. But in general, it's, checking in to see what your body's able to do here. Is it uncomfortable? Is it comfortable for you? Can you find a breath here? So don't stress out about maybe crossing the T's and dotting the I's, but rather how your joints feel, how you feel, and choosing the variation that works for you. So try to have decent enough posture where you're really working some endurance and some flexion in the knees and hips. So lots of info there. Of course, you guys know me. Always kind of gotta have a little soapbox moment in all my workouts. Grab a little water, a little tea, a little coffee, whatever you're sipping on for your decompression session. And we're gonna go into a minute of balancing planks next. Here's just a plank on the knees, and we're just going to kind of alternate driving the heels up to play around with some space. Here's what it looks like on the hands, and time has started here. So here's where our minute begins, and I just want you guys to play around with it here today. We're not locked into a certain way. I just kind of want you to play in the space. Here's how it looks if you start playing on with balance in the upper body and then bring it into the lower body. So you can go arms up, and even if you're in the kneeling version, you can do this. You can do both a balancing plank with the arms and the legs across the body here if you'd like. Just break it up, work on that core stability however you feel would challenge you, and kind of keep your mind engaged. We're just here for 60 seconds. If you've got some shoulder issues and you're not supposed to be planking, you can either do your favorite core stability exercise like a dead bug or a bird dog, or just a regular old stability balance like a single leg hold or a single leg calf raise. Finish it out strong, whatever variation you'd like. Either the legs, the arms, combo legs and arms, or combo both at the same time. Awesome work. We're going to do one of my favorites next for the glutes and the hips. It just feels really amazing. You're going to bring yourself to that butterfly stretch position and lay flat on your back with the knees out. All you're going to do is keep your insteps together, press your hips up as you exhale, and then lower down. That's it. Nice little kind of dynamic stretch for the hips. Just a nice way to work the glutes and the core, kind of work some hip extension, in just a way that feels like you're stretching, really. As a swimmer, I enjoy doing this, especially because I love breaststroke and I love breaststroke kick. For any of you out there that think I'm crazy, maybe doing some more knee and hip mobility will help you love it as much as I do. Personally love breaststroke, especially on a Monday when I'm really sore and tight. So this is kind of prepping me for my swim. But if you're not a swimmer, you can still do these. Just think of a way this will help translate into your everyday life and make it feel a little bit better today. Okay, this one's really fun. We're going to do mountain climber variations. So we're just going to do a regular, I'll show you some regressions too. You're going to drive your knee to the opposite elbow and then just extend the leg from the knee. So it's knee to elbow, extend, bring it back in. Knee to elbow, extend. There you go. Just kicking it through. So I'm up on my hands here. If you feel led, you can bring it into where the top arm goes up. So the opposite leg that's reaching across goes up. There's a little freeze frame for you. And this just works now. Shoulder stability, coordination, core stability, legs, arms. Of course, this is becoming a total body movement. If you need to just bring it down to the regular crossbody mountain climber, also totally fine. So just do what works for you here. We're going to do a few more. I'm going to show the top progression again. If you want to turn that back foot, that also can help you feel a little bit more stable. Really nice way to work the whole body and kind of just energizes you a little bit. Just love this one. We haven't done it maybe ever with my YouTube page, so that's super fun. Okay, Superman hand release push-ups. So level 1, we're just going to start with the Superman and just the upper body. So here's what level 1 looks like. I want you, especially if you're newer, just especially tight today, to stick to this one. Bring the legs in if you feel like you can. If you want to add in a kneeling push-up, you're going to do a kneeling push-up and then lift the arms and then go back up. Okay, and if you want to do a full hand release push-up, full Superman, you do a push-up, full Superman, arms out, legs up, back to the push-up with a strong core. And we're just going to rock and roll through several of these. There's number 2. Okay, inhale all the way down, exhale Superman, inhale, bring the hands in, exhale, push the floor away. And if you experience something that was frustrating or embarrassing or sad or just kind of a hard moment in your day, just exhale that away as you come out of that push-up with a really strong and rigid core. We don't want any inchworms off the ground. So we're just kind of letting out some stress in this movement because it is particularly challenging. It also works on mobility and total body, really upper body, the most strength, but kind of everything with that Superman. So you're checking a lot of boxes here. We're almost done. Finish strong. Big exhale that floor away for your last one. Great job. Quick break, grab some water, fix the pony. Do a quick phone check if you need to. Keep yourself engaged. We don't have much left for today. We're going to move into our next exercise, which is an RDL reverse fly without weight. So you're going to hinge at your hips for level 1 and just pull the thumbs apart. So it's soft knees, push your hips back, pull the thumbs apart. Great for the hamstrings, glutes, and your posture. Level 2, most of your weight is on one leg. This is for those of you that are working on your stability, but it's not there yet. And here's the top tier, the one that we're going to kind of start out with. So there's 1, hinge, pull the hands apart, stand up, 2. We'll be doing 6 from this. So here's number 3, we're halfway. Great for balance, great for upper body. If you swim fly, like I'm starting to learn to slowly but surely, this is great for those fly specific muscles. But if you don't swim and you're somebody that's at a desk a lot, this is great for kind of pulling back those posture muscles and helping keep the shoulders back. Maybe you're somebody that's in their 70s or 80s and you're worried about those shoulders rounding forward. Choose level 1 if you need to. We're going to switch to the other side and we're just going to work on our posture, our balance, our lower body strength, our coordination. I work with my husband's grandmother and I have her do variations of this and she's approaching 90. So I also have my 8-year-old swimmers do this movement as they're learning all the different strokes. So it's just fun to use movements that cross the generations and think about how it applies to you in either your activities of daily life or your sport or both. I invite you to continue finding the breath in this. Excellent. And we're just going to do one last thing to end. Hands behind the neck. And we're going to start standing. We're going to do 4 standing, 4 squatted. And you're just doing some like trunk flexions, I guess you could call these, or lateral leans. We're just stretching out the lats and the obliques. And it shouldn't be painful. None of this should ever be painful. But it should feel like a good stretch. Now toes out slightly. Go down into a plie squat that you feel comfortable in. And you're just going to bring your elbow to your knee. Avoid bending like forward for this. You want to stay as lateral as possible, so it might be a small movement. And if you don't have the mobility for it, don't do it in a squat. Just stay standing. So we're only going to do 4 and 4 just because I don't want anyone to get anything sloppy out there, because I obviously have control issues and I can't see everybody. So just do this option if you're kind of even a little bit nervous you're not doing it right, because it should feel good. We're just adding a little degree of difficulty and kind of adding like some knee and hip work in by doing it here. So the main focus is, some spine mobility, some lower body work, some oblique work, just some variation, I guess, in a nutshell. And it just felt like what my body needed to do, so I'm putting it in for today. Okay, and we're just going to finish with a deep breath in. I want you to breathe in as you come up. Stretch those arms up. Exhale, bring the hands back down. Inhale, think about something that you did really, really great, either today or in this session. Exhale down. And the last one, we're just going to fill up with tons of energy and good thoughts. And you're done. Awesome work. Thanks for joining me, you guys. We'll see you again for the next session. And if you want to stay up to date on workouts, just hit subscribe. You'll get a notification. Otherwise, just, keep tuning back in. Have a great day.